What's up, Jet 3 for JP in the house. I had this conversation the other day with one of my long time subscribers from really long time ago. And it was on Skype, and he was telling me about the genocide of black people by, so then he said that, he said that he knows that my videos, in my videos, I guess I'm pushing or advocating or something like that, black men to date Asian women. And then the conversation went on about the dangers of the black men running out and stuff like that, and women and black people and stuff like that. And I want to say this because I know I always make these videos, but I want to say this: I do not advocate cross-cultural marriages. I do not do that. Okay, if you're black man and you got black mom, then I believe you should marry a black woman. If you're a white man, you have a white mom, you should marry a white woman. Okay, and the only logical sense about that is just to how can I say that? To recreate a child who looks like you. Okay, now I know it sounds kind of strange and it sounds kind of messed up too, but that's just the way. I'm just thinking on the basic level and stuff like that. Actually, you date and marry who you want. Okay, but I'm not advocating anything. Okay, I'm not advocating anything like that because cross-cultural marriages, they have a lot of problems too, and compounded on just the natural or the natural problems of just being married and trying to get used to someone else that's in your life. So I am not advocating that. Another thing too, by the marrying other women and things like that, what's going to happen is it just depends on the color and the skin tone of your woman and stuff like that. And what it's going to do is it can deteriorate one, and make everyone lighter, or some people darker, or some people become eliminated altogether, whatever. But the whole thing is, there's still people and we're still human, and we need to get to the point of being, hey, that we're humans. But there are advantages and disadvantages of the color of your skin, especially pertaining to the weather. Okay, so that's really something that's important, and even more than that, but I'm not, I haven't really studied a lot into that, but there's more into it. So basically, what the studies leading towards is the darker you are, the better potential, or the more superhuman or something that you are, or something like that. And so that's what the studies are saying and things like that, from what I've seen. Okay, or I wouldn't say the studies, but the investigation and the science and all that stuff that they are revealing and things like that. Okay, but I'm sure most people aren't even at that level anyway, so it really doesn't matter per se when it comes to a man looking for a woman to accept her or to accept him into her life, because basically that's all you're doing. You're looking for someone to love you, and I think that's just an extension of the lack of love that you've gotten from your mother, because if you got the correct love from your mother, then, and from your father, or just from one of your parents, because you only need one of them to give it to you, and then additional advice and things like that, then a lot of guys would not be in the situations that they were in with the marriages and going to jail for not paying child support and marrying the wrong woman altogether and things like that, because sure, love is something that we all have been trained that we need, but I don't think that it's the biggest issue as far as getting married, because love does disappear. Okay, another thing and then we talked about a little more and stuff, and I said, and we were talking about the incarceration of black men. I just saw this article saying that there are like over 1 million men in school and about 800,000 men in jail. So from the real studies, there are more men in college than there are black men in college than there are in jail, and probably half those guys that are in jail shouldn't even be there, because I'm sure it was their temper, lack of control and things like that. Most of these guys is in jail. I mean, I'm not talking about the criminals and stuff, because they don't break it down to how many murderers are in there and how many robbers and how many people that just got, for drugs and stuff like that. They don't break it down like that. Okay, it would be nice to get a study on that, but they don't have it. But anyway, I was saying because of those men who are in there, every year they could be producing children, and if you get like, let's say for instance you get like 100, let's say 500,000 men who are in jail and can't create businesses to provide for their families and stuff like that, then every year that's 500,000 black babies that are not being born. And then if you're not increasing, then the ones on the streets, it depends on what they're doing, and it looks like, all they're doing is just providing supplies for the jails and stuff by not correcting their offsprings, and the women and men are working together for the benefit of their children. They're just in it for themselves. It would seem like that. Okay, but so that's where the real, how can you say it, the real genocide is coming. And then of course, the murders, kids killing kids and stuff on the street and stuff like that. So that's where the genocide really is. And then also, it can also be an effect that when you do cross-cultural, when you do marry someone else in other cultures, like I said, depending on what they look like, then you're not reproducing an exact image of yourself. And in that, if that's what they're talking about, black men, the self-images, because all black men don't look alike, okay? We all look different. We all have different skin tones and stuff like that. And if that's what he's saying, and if black men is more or less like an idea, that has a certain characteristics, but not a specific one, that have certain characteristics and certain fundamental physiologies and stuff like that, then black men won't disappear. But because of the cross-cultural marriages and stuff like that, and it just depends on who. Like I said, basically, I think what he's getting to is the color of the skin and stuff like that, or the physiological makeup. I think that's the correct word that I should be using. That will change. So let's say like you come to Japan and you have children with a Japanese woman, or a black woman have children with a Japanese man. The first thing that's going to disappear is the rear end. It's going to get flat. That roundness is going to disappear. My son might have a little one. My daughter, nothing. And there are a lot of black women out here, black Japanese women, black kids who are have Japanese. That round physiologic, whatever it is, the physical appearance of their butts is gone, is flat, okay? And so when you look at it like that, and if that is one of the physical identification of black people with the butts, then that is definitely going to get gone if you marry and I don't know, because I hear in Spain, that the women out there have these butts. Not all of it, but South, because of the black men are the Moors, or which means the black men from Africa, when they were ruling it for like over 800 years and stuff. And I shouldn't say rule, that sounds like slavery, when they governed it and stuff and advanced it and taught for those many years. But and then like the women that you see, a lot of white women here from Brazil, and they look like they have some too. The black women definitely got it. The ones that's from Brazil, that's here in Japan. And then the African women do too. So, but when if they marry a Japanese man or someone else who don't have it, then their children tend not to have it. And I haven't seen one here. And a lot of guys out here, if you see them if any guys are like me and they talk about how fine these Japanese girls are and they got nice butts and stuff, since that tends to be a really main identification of the beauty of a woman, that a lot of guys are really trapped in and stuff like that, then that in Japan is